I've seen a lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross for this. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross, it's your fault.
So Big Meech finally shook off the prison dust and thought he was about to snatch his crown back like a boss. He was ready for a legendary comeback. But instead, he ran straight into a hot mess, and all eyes are on Rick Ross. Ross had everyone fooled, throwing stacks like confetti and hyping Meech's return like it was going to be the biggest move of the year. He made it look like he was riding for Meech hard. But when the pressure hit, that flashy support disappeared quick. Meech was left scrambling, alone, trying to salvage the wreckage. His big comeback concert? Canceled. That $1 million deal with 50? Gone. And Ross? Man's back focusing on his own plate like nothing happened. Now folks are seriously questioning. Did Ross play him? Did he gas Meech up just to leave him hanging? Meech's whole situation is spiraling fast. Fans are stunned, watching it all go down, wondering if he can actually recover from this mess or if he's done for good. See, Meech stepped out thinking the streets still belonged to him, like he could pick up right where he left off. But what he didn't expect? The game changed, fast. And he's about to find out just how brutal the comeback trail really is.
A lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross, it's your fault. So I'ma do it. Yo, Rick Ross, this is your fault. You the reason why Big Meech is going through this here right now, you heard? Because when we was on the internet talking about the Cuffy case and all that, nobody even really gave a But now 50 talking about that, and everybody listening. Everybody listening, you heard? So, I just want to say, or I want to ask you, did you think that shit was a good idea in hindsight? Do you think it was a good idea to be in the video with me talking about sexy red?
Sexy red.
Yeah, you think that was a good idea? Also, how you let that get the show canceled in Florida, B? That's kind of diabolical, you heard? 50, that's some bull. How you let that get the show canceled in Florida? Let's get to that.
One of Meech's first big power moves after getting out? Teaming up with Rick Ross, who didn't waste a second flexing stacks in front of him like it was nothing. And if you're wondering why a street legend like Meech would even blink at that kind of money, when he once ran a multi-million-dollar empire and had that flashy BMF deal with 50 Cent, here's the cold truth. Meech burned through every dollar. He was dead broke and hungry for a comeback. So much so, he was willing to turn his back on 50 just for a chance to ride with Ross. That's how bad he needed a fresh shot. Word is, Meech even expected Lil Meech to pull up with bricks of cash to keep things afloat. But Lil Meech? He was in the same boat, just trying to stay afloat himself. With the money drying up fast, the Meech family was feeling the heat. And Ross? He peeped that chaos and saw a wide-open door for himself. He figured, why not help Meech get back up and make it look like I'm the savior of the streets? When 50 Cent started throwing shots at Meech, Ross stepped in acting like a soldier, talking tough, putting on a show, making it seem like he had Meech's back all the way. But none of that played out, not even close. Step 1 of Ross's so-called Meech rehab plan? Drown him in fast money and hope it sparked a comeback? Ross thought the quickest way to throw Meech back into the spotlight was to throw a massive benefit concert in his name. Backed by EXO Touring and AG Touring, the event was hyped as a huge comeback celebration. With a star-studded lineup to welcome Big Meech back to the scene, and Ross, he went all in on the promo, pulling every flashy move in the book to make it look like a historic night was coming. But just when Meech thought he was finally getting a win, boom! The whole thing blew up in his face. Just hours before showtime, the Amarant Bank Arena hit fans with a shocker. Due to unforeseen circumstances, tonight's show has been canceled. Refunds will be made at point of purchase. Just like that, concert done, dreams crushed.
Man, I'm hearing already some people is pulling out of that concert. Yeah, on February 13th, that Big Meech was having. You heard? I know Little Baby ain't performing, right? Yeah, he said he ain't f***ing with Gunna no more because Gunna a rat. I know he ain't performing that Big Meech. Yeah, 50 on the internet calling this a rat. Talking about Tammy Cowan. This shit done grew some legs. Yeah, from when we was on the internet a few months ago talking about, yo, how Cuffy get indicted, how the Migo get indicted, and Meech ain't get indicted, blah, blah, blah. This shit done grew some legs since then. Yeah, because if Tammy then told 50 and... Yo, 50, let me narrate this shit, B. Let me narrate this. Let's get to that. Yeah, New York, nigga, let's get to that. Yeah, who's going to this concert? I said I want to. Who's going to this concert still? Yeah. What's really going on out here? Let's get to that.
Meanwhile,
Word spread fast, and people immediately started pointing fingers at 50 Cent. Rumors had already been swirling that he was trying to get both Meech and Rick Ross shut out of the industry completely. Whack 100 was straight up convinced 50 had his hands in the cancellation. But 50? He played it slick. Instead of staying quiet, he posted a pic of the cancellation notice with a cold caption. "I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am." He didn't stop there either. He even shared a video from IG user Zip with the Drip, who claimed Lil Baby and other artists pulled out from the concert too. What was supposed to be Meech's big moment turned into a full-on disaster, and 50 was enjoying every second. 50 wasn't done clowning the whole situation. In his caption, he wrote, "The funny stuff is, they was saying Lil Baby pulled up on them in a Ferrari truck, pockets full of money, and didn't give them nothing. Lil Baby was 5 when you got indicted, WTF he owe you, Tammy Cowan coming soon." That line hit like a punch. And just like that, Big Meech lost the one shot that could have pulled him back into the game. Everyone's asking how he's handling the fall and what his next move is. But the real question? What is Rick Ross planning now? Ross was the one talking all that loud talk, saying he was gonna mentor Meech, bring him back strong, and put him front and center again. But guess what? Ross bailed. Straight ghosted the situation. The second that concert fell apart, he posted one dry video about it, barely 5 seconds long, and then jumped right into promoting his own stuff like nothing even happened. He didn't look bothered at all. Even now, Ross is out here hyping his own events, dropping product lines, doing interviews, while Meech is left behind, dealing with the mess solo. Fans couldn't believe it. They're calling Ross out for being shady and careless, especially since he's the one who got the ball rolling in the first place. Let's be real. If Ross hadn't slid in and messed up Meech's connection with 50, none of this would have gone down the way it did. Meech wouldn't have even needed that concert. Now he's stuck in the fallout, while Ross acts like he never had a hand in it. Meech could have just stayed eating off the millions that 50 Cent was laying out for him. Easy money, steady path. But nope. He made a different call. And let's be honest, this downfall didn't come out of nowhere. Everyone online could see clear as day that Ross wasn't riding for him like a real one. So now, folks ain't exactly rushing to feel bad for him. Even Whack 100 called it early. He said what a lot of people were thinking. And now, Big Meech can't just go crawling back to 50 begging to fix things, because 50's already moved on. He made it loud and clear. There's no Season 4 coming for the BMF series. Done. Over. In a since-deleted IG post, 50 even dropped some personal text messages from Lil Meech. Messages where Lil Meech straight up confronted him about all the attacks on his dad. "They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram, and now you manage and skill ABBA with Rocket, when I brought him around you first, when you didn't even know who he was. Now you mad at me? I'd take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act like I'm your enemy. I've only shown you love and loyalty." Lil Meech kept it raw, saying he's just human and dealing with his own stuff, but he never switched up on 50. And then he addressed the Ross situation too. He admitted it was all about survival. "Screw Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet stuff is throwing me off, man. It's messy, emotional, and public, and now everything's out in the open." "You know me in real life," Lil Meech said. But 50? He couldn't care less. His cold response to that emotional message? "What next season, little ninja?" No sympathy, no filter, just straight disrespect. Let's be real. 50 was the last person Lil Meech should have expected any kindness from. He even mocked Big Meech's money problems like it was comedy. He posted a fake GoFundMe link on Instagram with a savage caption, "Help Big Screech pay his $30K a month Airbnb. That's one of P's cribs. Shout out to quality control." That was a brutal hit. And yeah, it's safe to say Meech is straight up drowning right now. Ross tried to throw a lifeline, but fans aren't buying it. He jumped on IG stories saying, "I want to do a real BMF movie, theaters only." Which director, Antoine Fuqua or Quentin Tarantino? He even dropped it again in a video clip like he was serious about making it happen. But people aren't convinced. This is the same guy who couldn't even keep a concert from collapsing. If he couldn't manage one night, how's he supposed to deliver a full-blown movie? Fans are side-eyeing hard. And here's the wildest part, Meech didn't just mess up his own bag, he ended up dragging his whole family into the mess. 50 had hooked them up with executive producer credits on the BMF series, meaning the entire family was getting steady checks. That deal was gold, and now, it's all falling apart. Some folks aren't shocked, though. They say if you really watched the BMF series, you'd know. Big Meech was never really loyal, and now that same energy's come back around. Meech was out here working with whoever had the bag, even if it meant teaming up with folks who were clearly on the opposite side of his circle. At the end of the day, Meech's focus was simple: chase that money. But that's where him and 50 Cent split ways. See, 50 rides hard for loyalty. That's the code BMF always claimed to stand on. That's the real difference between the two. 50 stays loyal to his people. Big Meech, he stays loyal to the game, even if it means stepping over his own. And let's keep it real, Meech ain't about to step up and take the blame for how things turned out. Instead, he's pointing the finger at Ross. Even if Meech didn't see the crash coming, he made the call, and now he's trying to dodge the heat. But what do you think? Can Big Meech recover from this chaos? And is he gonna turn the tables on Ross for leaving him out in the cold? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to peep the next video for even more wild drama.